Hey, check out the sponsor for the video. Check out the links in the description.
Hey guys, I just got my free sample and shaker cup for the Dubby's energy pack drink. So this is me trying it. I just got it from my P.O. box and I'm just gonna try and see how it was. Let's just take a look at what I got, the samples that I got. As you can see, I have the peach, the beach and peach. I have the Dub Sludge, the Dragonade, and also Galaxy Grenade. I don't know which one I'm gonna do, and I got the anime cup to like get the package. I'm gonna try it for my afternoon energy boost. Now I'm about to mix my new Dubby pack with Dragonberry. We're gonna see how this tastes. Not too bad. I think I'm gonna sip on this for the rest of the day. It's about 3 hours till I get off of work, and we're gonna see how this actually makes me feel. So, small little correction. I actually had the Galactic Grenade earlier. Tastes actually awesome, and didn't get the jitteries. I actually drank it over an hour-long period, and I still got enough energy, enough mental focus. I guess this is good to go. All right, so I'm going to tell you this. I am a 41, about to be 42-year-old man in February. I have seen the breadth and width of a lot of different things change. I've seen the breadth and width of a lot of things. Characters go from one way to another. I've seen characters change. I've seen progression. And some of it's been good, some of it's been bad. But there's this thing called time, and it marches on. And I've known, even with me being a 41, almost 42-year-old man, there are some shit that I liked when I was younger that I still like. Hello, Tenchimoto. Fuck. And some things that I've seen evolve over time, and changes the story that I've seen evolve over time. Now, that just shows a growth in my personality and taste. Some motherfuckers can't leave their late teens and early 20s. And yeah, we're gonna see this. And I want to just show you guys this, right? For somebody who says they're mature and they do a lot, they're grown and they can take care of a lot of shit. This is actually pretty weird. So I'm just gonna actually go here. If you actually see it, as just outside of just addressing this, we have one, two, three, four videos talking about this one motherfucking video that we're gonna cover. And it's David Jaffe. And you guys know that I'm a big God of War fan. I have God of War 3 on the Vid channel. I have Ragnarok. I think I even have God of War 2018. And we know that David Jaffe has had some interesting things to say about the way the God of War franchise is going. And this is going to be interesting. I already saw this video, so I can't say that I haven't I haven't responded to it, but it's interesting to say the least, because David Jaffe is to say that he's bitter about the way the God of War franchise went and his time at Sony.
I can't seem to dispute it with his actions. But of course, never attribute to malice what can easily attribute to, ignorance, cowardice, or greed. But let's go and see how the original video that sparked all of this. Let's go, David.
Here's what the God of War guys were saying. They were interviewed by IGN about this. This is the problem, by the way, that I have with Indiana Jones after Last Crusade. That here's what they said. They were talking.
Notice he threw God of War and Indiana Jones. I don't see how those two are connected, other than these are my protected characters and they shouldn't change. But let's go
to one of the directors, Bruno Velasquez. I can't say it. God damn it, Bruno, you son of a bitch. That's why we don't talk about him. Remember Encanto? Anyway, here's what Bruno says. He says, you could say that a lot of our projects and our games and the way we approach them kind of reflects a little bit about the studio's personalities and personal experiences. The previous games in the Greek era, perhaps that was our college years, and now we have all grown up and have families of our own. We try to reflect those personal experiences also through Kratos and through some of the other characters he interacts with. Now,
so literally, he just read what, and I'm sorry, all you right-wing culture warriors and that have this whole take. Authors always self-insert. There are people who create things. When they create things, especially stories, they self-insert into that story. It's a mark of their creativity, and it's a feeding of the ego. If you don't understand that, then I'm sorry, we need to teach you media literacy. And well, he's the original creator of God of War, so he's not big bad Kratos. Authors always self-insert. Either they feel that they're that character, they feel like they want to become that character, or they want to screw that character. It's just the thing that creatives do. Ask any creative that creates a character. They either feel like they are that character, want to become that character, or they want to screw that character. It's writing 101. But let's see how, Jaffe says this.
I want to tell you something about this shit. I liked very much. I thought 2018 was great. Ragnarok, not my cup of tea. But this is the problem with Indiana Jones. I don't want these characters to grow. I don't give a fuck what you're going through at the studio. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. If you're going to build a brand new IP.
I don't give a fuck, but I don't mean that disrespectfully. The fuck you say?
Or you're going to build a character into the God of War lore, and that character is struggling or dealing with your problems that a lot of you guys that have gotten older and girls at the studio have dealt with. That's wonderful. Do that shit all day long. But don't take the character Kratos or Indiana Jones and go, you know what? I'm Steven Spielberg. I'm older now, and I'm really into family, and I want to tell stories about fathers and sons and God. No, fuck you. That is not.
I'm reminded of watching the King Thrash video where he does a song, and this is like where he's actually saying like, yo, dude, you just sound mad that the stepdad took care of him better than you did. And for the record, Jaffe left the fucking Santa Monica Studios dealing with God of War in the midst of making God of War 2. You know who was there as a part of the creative in God of War 1, who had input, and who was the game director of God of War 2? This motherfucker named Corey. Corey Barlock. Yeah, no, the people who have motherfucking graduated Kratos has quite literally been there since the beginning. And if you had a problem with the depth of character, you shouldn't have motherfucking left. But let's continue.
Not what this character is, whether it's Indy or whether it's the goddamn Kratos. Okay, I just stop. You know, I get it. You know, I don't know. It's just like someone needs to be able to tell these people no sometimes and say, look, we love that you're arty farty. We love that you're taking shit from your personal life. We love that you're treating the medium, and Sony always has, as an art form as well as a business. You know, we get it, we love it, we support it, but somebody still needs to step up there and go, you need to do all that within the pin that we've put up a fence for you, and if you step outside, the electric shock collar is going to get you. You need to do all that within the pin that says this is what God of War is. This is
I don't get where they're doing something that's wrong. I don't get where they're doing something that is just incorrect. You are sitting up here and the success that God of War 1 has, and don't get me wrong, it was a good motherfucking game. I still would play it if I could on my PlayStation 3. The success of it was great. The depth of character that you saw with not only God of War 1, but God of War 2, Chains of motherfucking Olympics, and kind of goes to Sparta. The depths that you see with this shit. And of course, if you went back and played Valhalla, you'll notice that even in game, Kratos says, you're more than just some brooding mad motherfucker. Why is it that this motherfucker is so upset about an evolution of a character where the opening scene in God of War 1 is somebody who wasn't angry, somebody who literally fell into the depths of despair because he couldn't get what he wanted? Let's go.
This is what Indiana Jones is. And if you want to make something that's not that, that's cool, but don't fucking call it God of War and don't fucking call it Indiana Jones. That's all I would say. Eddie T says Kratos is in the new game stressing over his 401k. That's right. Ravno says, I thought you liked Kratos except for the beard. I do like the first one that Corey did, but that was because it was so meta and so interesting and genuinely just so good.
And so let's actually talk about this point here too. I never want to get to a point where, I'm going to say this charitably, where I feel I have so many games that I get bored with shit. I never want to get to the point where it's just like, I need something new to like tickle my fancy. A sequel is supposed to be a follow-up of the previous game. This is my critique when I saw a lot of people's like, oh, God of War Ragnarok was a safe sequel. Oh, Spider-Man 2 was a safe sequel. It didn't do anything extraordinary. It just was more of the same. That's what a sequel is. I have played games that as soon as the sequel came out, they went radically different ways. And that shit sucked. I don't know how many of you guys remember the most poignant example of it. Xenosaga. If you know what Xenosaga is on a PlayStation 2, you would understand that. It is a sequel. It is a continuation. What is your problem? I know what it seems the problem is. Yuck, feelings. And like you can go through the videos, and I've seen them. I've seen people that just like, yuck, feelings. Oh, it wasn't some big, extravagant, we needed to have the, higher dimension to be explained to us. It's feelings and dealing with family shit and trauma and shit that I've been through. But fuckers like this, quite literally, oh, Kratos mopey. He cares about his 401k. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
That I was cool with it. But no, I don't like the direction that God of War is going in at all now. After seeing this particular Ragnarok. I'll play Valhalla. Maybe that'll turn me around. Ragnarok was a great. I've said this many times. Ragnarok was a great game, wonderfully made, wonderfully produced, up and down all goddamn day. But it's not God of War. It's not. It's not for me. Let's put it that way. But if you dig it, you dig it.
What's not God of War about it? I've literally seen people say the finishers weren't brutal enough. You would see people getting cut in half. What is not gory enough? Quite literally, the finishers and some of the bosses, except for like last time it was ripping off wings. This time, pulling out an axe and beheading motherfuckers. What? But it was senseless violence in everything. That's what I don't get. It's senseless violence in all of them. Because you're not, killing actual people and getting green power orbs, then that's the real difference. This shit doesn't make any sense. Oh, he's not killing enough human-like entities. Or, no, the complaint was it was too many human-like enemies. And then, like, one of the fucking kill zones is where you literally split open a motherfucking dragon's neck and then you explode it. And no, here's the thing. The old God of War had a plot too. It was just a man that was fucking hurt and he was mad. But let's go.
Good for you. Kratos would get boring, says Everett. Well, here's the thing about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's like saying James Bond will get boring or Spider-Man will get boring. Yes, I won't belabor the point, but I will tell you something. There was a time in my life in my 20s where I was seriously trying to figure out how to write comic books, and I went to.
And it doesn't feel like he's left that time frame. Like, is he mad that Twisted Metal got like motherfucking a TV series? Like, you can tell that he's like even with the leaks and shit, he's like really shitting on Sony because he seems hurt that it ended as bad as it did. I wonder who acts like that.
To the San Diego Comic-Con, and I went to a panel with one of the best comic writers of the last 50 years, Mark Waid, who's done, Kingdom Come, and he's just a great superhero writer. And in the Q&A, I asked him, I said, I don't understand this, though. All these writers say that your character should arc and there should be change and all this shit. I said, but how do you do that with a franchise character? If Spider-Man at the end of your 24 pages goes from being, oh my God, I can't get my shit together in my personal life and my professional life as Spider-Man are always creating this conflict, which the reader loves, are you going to say at the end of 24 pages he's healed? And
this is one of those reasons why I'm just looking at him like, you know that he got married, right? Spider-Man got married for a time. You know that there are alternate versions of Spider-Man where they tell a story where him and Mary Jane actually got married and had a kid. There's even a future prophecy of Mayday motherfucking Parker. Also, there are times where we see how Spider-Man reacts or the Peter Parker reacts when he has his life together. Hello, Superior Spider-Man. Like, we see this shit. We see the changes that they've done. Just say it's not your writing style that you like. Say that. Put it as your opinion. Because that's all it is. And you don't have any more weight to your opinion about a character that you chose to leave. Remember, he chose to leave God of War in the development of God of War 2. And he handed it off to Cory Barlog. But let's continue.
And that's the thing. I could never figure it out, but some writers know how to do it where it can still be the character, but there's a little bit added every iteration that there's a growth, but it's very slow.
So Kratos grew too slow for you? I mean, like, it wasn't I don't know, there were 6 games between the time of God of War 1 and what you consider the worst game or a bad game, motherfucking Ragnarok. And this is somebody who quite literally, is he not forgetting that we had God of War Ascension, which just took you back to the original Kratos, and that shit didn't sell? Did he forget that? I know a lot of people forget about Ascension. I mean, Malswar made a joke about the shit. But we did have God of War Ascension. Was that just something that he just didn't think about?
But let me ask you this. If I came to you and pitched you the character Kratos from 2018's game, and you had never heard of Kratos before, I don't know if you would go, that sounds like a great character. I think he's only great.
But see, that's the thing. It's not just that they said 2018 was the start of the franchise and that's how it worked. No, this is a franchise, dude. It is a reason why. It is a reason why this shit works. It is a reason why the games work. Again, you have a connection to only the first game. Again, Jaffe, you left during the development of God of War 2, which the person who was the game director for God of War 2 took over and handpicked his successor for Ragnarok. This is just like, you keep forgetting that. The person that had a hand in motherfucking the creation of the character still is there. But let's continue.
Because of, he's kind of, he shat the bed in his previous games in terms of as a person, and now he's coming around the mountain. You know what I'm saying? I think the character model for Atreus is most of the reason I don't like him, says Brett Moore. In the new one, yeah, Atreus, a lot of people, I was even listening to Gene at the Game Awards when this trailer dropped, and Gene Park was saying he didn't want Atreus. I think everybody, it's weird though. I don't think there's, nobody complains when you're playing Ellie about Joel.
And see, this is another thing too. A lot of motherfuckers don't like Atreus. One, because he reminds them of themselves. I know, weird, shocking. A lot of these motherfuckers that want big bad Kratos are just motherfucking a few years from being Atreus. Spoiled, whiny, talk back. You can just hear it in some of the shit that they say. Now, I like Atreus' gameplay section because I like Horizon Zero Dawn and like motherfucking mid-range to long-range actually is fun for me. That's just a game style play that I like. And also I know a lot of the Loki lore. If we was to get a fucking Atreus spinoff and he goes to the Celtic Isles and he's quite literally a twist on Jack and the Beanstalk, oh my god. If you know about the Jack and the Jack from the Jack and the Beanstalk stories and how he fought giants, oh, that's gonna be fucking. That would be awesome. That would be fucking awesome. But still, let's go.
Or in the first game, nobody complained when you're Joel about Ellie, but a lot of people complain about Atreus. I like him. I liked him in Ragnarok. He was a cool character, but there is kind of there's a consensus amongst a bunch of people that he's not very well loved, and I wonder what that is.
Because they see too much of themselves in him. But let's continue.
Bookster says, I hated Ellie in The Last of Us 1. I hate Atreus in God of War. I just hate children. That's fair. There should be like a introvert mode where all these companions just go away. He says Jaffe. Valhalla looks interesting. I like the old Kratos more. Probably Atreus feels tropey because we've been playing just Kratos for more games, maybe. We've played less Last of Us, although they remade it X times. It's a good point in that Last of Us came out the gate as a co-op game. Although I don't know. I mean, I think, if you would have had Kratos running around with some hyper sexy chick Kratos. I've seen women cosplay Kratos. It's pretty hot, actually. Maybe that, I don't think we would have minded as much, but I don't know.
And see, this tells you this Gen X type bullshit of just like, oh yeah, we need to have somebody around this sexy. Like, wait, what? Like, yeah, no, the only reason why they need to be around is because we want to fuck them. Are they useful? Yeah, useful to my motherfucking masturbation. I mean, like, what? I mean, I know the jokes that goes around talking about how, Kratos and Freya needs to, fucking get it over with. They just need to bang each other out for about a whole weekend. But that's not because Freya is just like, okay, technically she is a love goddess and Kratos has luck with love goddesses, but she's also a warrior goddess, and I think he values for her more as a fucking warrior because like Faye. But still, it's not because Freya is walking around here half naked and she just have her titties all out. It's because she's a good motherfucking match for the god of war, another god of war that is just like can be just as strong as he can. And before you say Freya is not as strong as Kratos, you don't understand what they modeled Freya after. And for my lore people, and not a 1-on-1, but it's like having Athena, Aphrodite, and Hecate all in one person. That's who Freya is. Fuck around to find out. Or if you don't want to say Hecate, it's like having Athena. Or no, not Athena. What is that Egyptian goddess of the fucking hunt? It's like having her and having motherfucking Isis, the goddess of magic, all in one character. As a matter of fact, yeah, I would, yeah. Instead of Hecate, I would say Isis. If you know how strong Isis really was and how fucking formidable she was, yeah. So, fuck what you thought, and I'm off on a tangent. But anyway, let's go.
No, I mean that's what's really interesting. You have this industry where it's getting better with indies and double A's, where as you get older, there is an audience that's there now. Whether you're talking artistic games or cozy games or action games like boomer shooters, but playing on this field, I think really requires a better job of, as it relates to God of War, of turning that nozzle down or that spigot down. So you get the personality of the team as you should, but you never lose sight of who your core audience is. Your core audience for God of War, I don't think gives a fuck about family in that way or raising a kid. I don't think that's their core. It would be like,
yet Ragnarok sold millions of copies. Yet Ragnarok sold millions of copies. And I'm gonna actually go to a video and this is kind of a companion to this piece that I actually wanted to kind of do. And I did watch this video, but like you guys understand what I mean. Here's the thing. When you sit back and see videos like this from people who just want a character to stay the same, even though they built shit into their character that would not allow for that. And I get the death of the author and all that other good shit. This is one of the videos that after seeing this shit, I came across and I find this pretty interesting. So let's go.
The creator of God of War said this.
David Jaffe isn't happy with the direction Kratos has taken. In a recent video on his YouTube channel, Jaffe claims that while he liked the first God of War reboot, he thinks Kratos has grown too soft, and that it's a result of developers injecting their personal lives into the series, and the audience does not want that.
And one of the other things that I said, I did want to actually mention, David Jaffe has made 4 of the videos talking about why are you still criticizing me? I'm an adult because I got adult responsibilities and you shouldn't let your taste when you're 20 change and you shouldn't forget about it because it's wrong. Yeah, David Jaffe has made that point. But let's go.
Reaction to Jaffe's comments have been less than stellar, with even 2018 God of War director Cory Barlog weighing in. How do you feel about modern Kratos? Too soft?
Now, before I even continue and totally dismantle this man's way of thinking on his character that he created, this is his baby. I'll admit that. It's his baby. I must give him respect, right? I have to give him respect. He made one of the GOATs. Kratos is a GOAT. God of War series is a GOATed series. It is what it is. It's the PS2, the PSP, the PS3, PS4, now the PS5. That series is GOATed. Cool, great. Now, after we pay respect to a man who created a legend, I have to now destroy the man who doesn't understand the legend he wrote. Kratos.
So, you heard it. This guy, and I'm gonna put it out there. It was DNAP. He has less subscribers than I do, but like we're gonna put his channel out there. Give him a couple of subscribes. Give him a couple of subscribes.
Spacecraft.
The creator of God.
There we go.
Kratos is a veteran. Kratos is a GOAT. God of War series is a GOATed series. It is what it is. Since the PS2, the PSP, the PS3, PS4, now the PS5, that series is GOAT. Cool, great. Now, after we pay respect to a man who created a legend, I have to now destroy the man who doesn't understand the legend he wrote. Kratos is not soft. Kratos is anything but soft. In fact, Kratos is a veteran. Can I repeat?
So here's the thing. What a lot of people miss, and especially in Ragnarok, after that fight with Thor, that first fight with Thor, you see Kratos kind of like grab his side, like he's tired, like he's worn down. And a lot of people miss that. And one of these days, I'm gonna go through the cutscenes and shit like that. A lot of people miss that because they think that he's tired from fighting Thor. And yeah, he got his ass kicked a little bit. But that wasn't what he was exhausted from doing. He was exhausted from controlling himself. And you can actually just see it. He let that anger part of him just bubble up just for a little bit. And it took so much to bring it back that a lot of people miss that. Every time you see him, the first fight with Baldur, yes, he was getting his shit rocked. He was like, I've never been hit that hard. But when you saw him just like, hey, look, just the Ghost of Sparta shit came out. And he's just like, oh, shit. This will take me being that person again. It just like, yeah, when he went out with Thor was like, oh shit, that's what I want to actually see. Every time you just see him just fucking lose it, it just takes just a lot of mental energy for him to pull that shit back. But let's go.
Repeat that one more time. Kratos is a veteran. You should know. You put him through all the shit he went through to get to this point. And Santa Monica Studios took what you left behind and took the next logical step. When the war is over, what do men do? When the war is over, what do soldiers do? They come home and try their best, some unsuccessfully, but they try their best to live a normal life, to live a life away from that, to have people never go through what they went through. Kratos doesn't want Atreus anywhere near conflict, and yet it follows him so.
So you can actually see this in just the way it was responded to in like God of War 2. As soon as he became God of War, people start keeping their distance. They treated him like a motherfucking vet who came home and just like, yeah, you seem crazy, dog. Like you seem like you have issues. And it pushed him further into fucking isolation. But still, when he came back and he had something to fucking live for, it was a totally different thing.
It haunts him like Athena herself, constantly watching and waiting to ruin his life. So he's hard. He's ready. He knows that at a moment's notice, genuinely, just a moment's notice, he has to defend his family. And he's constantly under that. Sure, he wants to relax. He does. He lives in a quiet little shed in the woods, secluded, away from people. This man is not soft. This man has been anything but soft since you created him. All he's known is rage and revenge. In fact, if you wanted him to be that avatar, complete and utter destruction, the hardcore of the hardcore, right? He would have been just another Doom guy.
And that's the thing. Like, I get it. I get it. Some people just want Doom Guy. They just want Doom Guy. That's all they want. Cool, you can have Doom Guy. But you didn't make Kratos, Jaffe, to be Doom Guy. You literally made somebody who the first scene of the game was him stepping off of a mountain into the Aegean Sea. The gods of Olympus have abandoned me. What do you expect?
Because Doom Guy has been fighting demons and mercilessly murking them, justifiably so, for eons at this point. Doom Guy isn't a character. Doom Guy is an idea. Doom Guy is an avatar. Doom Guy is a force of nature. Kratos isn't that. But like, let's go back. Let's do a quick, it's history on Kratos. Maybe some of you don't know where he came from. Maybe some of you don't know why this was the next logical step.
The scene
Maybe
that I'm talking about.
Veterans in your life who come home and they're just trying to do their best with whatever PTSD or scars that they have from war. But maybe some of you don't have that. And I understand that. If you don't see it, you never experience, you won't know what to look for or how this affects game making. But let's say, okay, cool. Let's start from the beginning of Kratos' timeline. Ready? And
so, I have had veterans in my life. My father was a Vietnam vet. And certain things happen. And even people that come back, quote unquote, okay, they never forget the fucking scars. But let's continue.
And Kratos, born from Sparta, the son of Sparta, also known as the ghost of Sparta, had to murk his baby and his wife because the god of war, Ares, thought it would be funny. Alright, man, he didn't think it would be funny, but, basically saying, I want
yeah, he had to change that. Not funny, but let's go.
you to be the best warrior ever. And turns out that did turn him into the best warrior ever. So much so that he killed Ares, and he became the new god of war. Alright, fine. Damn. Isn't that tragic? But there's more. In God of War 2, he was betrayed by the gods because they thought he had too much power and he wasn't godly enough for them. So they took away all his powers. So Kratos swore vengeance on the gods because he got screwed over by one god, Ares. And now he got screwed over by the pantheon of gods. Everybody but Athena, but
No, he got screwed over by Athena. Kratos definitely did introduce Kratos to the business side of the Blade of Olympus, right?
She kind of had her own mess, and she's still a mess. So he got.
I've actually heard people say that Athena was the original villain in the original series, and I can see that. And of course, I did the visual novel of what was it? The Fallen Gods, and it seems like the Athena in that book was different from the Athena that you saw in God of War 3. But yeah, sure. Let's go.
Killed by the god, went to the Sisters of Fate, murked them to find out what they need to do, and teamed up with the Titans along the way. The Titans have beef with the gods. We already know this. They were overthrown by the Olympian gods. So Kratos obviously saying, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. Not really, because he also killed a Titan, or he's Gaia. I need to get the job done.
Yeah, that's how it feels, Zeus.
To go through. And Zeus is still
he Pinot traded him.
Not dead at this point. God Lord. So either way, God of War 3 comes along, and the ending is wild. Kratos literally induces the apocalypse. Look at this. He kills Poseidon. All right, that's a pretty brutal stuff. And then as soon as he drops on the ocean,
dead before he even hit
so
the
apparently
water.
killing the primer gods have a certain effect on the world. And if you want to know what happens when you kill all the gods, well, there's absolute Armageddon. Everything is gone. There is no land, or at least no place you can live on. Every animal that lived, every human that lived, every insect that lived is basically dead, if not completely.
All right, so we know that that's not the case because of Valhalla. We know exactly what's going on. But yeah, it looked pretty grim.
confirmed it. And let's not forget, he also killed Hades. So I don't know what's happening in the underworld, but I'm pretty sure it ain't okay. It ain't okay. There's some kind of mayhem going on there that we just don't know or will ever know. Now, if you wanted God of War to be this kind of series, by all means, you wouldn't have made God of War 3 one of the most emotional games that there is.
And the thing is, Jaffe didn't. That was partly Barlock because, again, he left in the middle of 3. And Stig, whatever that man's name is, big, tall, bald, white guy. But Barlock had a big hand in the plot of that story.
Because by the ending, when Pandora comes in the picture and he's seeing this girl do her best, and he doesn't want to let her go, he doesn't want to let her die, he genuinely tries to stop her, partly because the girl, Pandora, looks like his daughter, but even then, everything dies, the world ends, yada yada. So, we don't know how much time.
Don't fail her like you failed your family, Kratos. And I was like, fuck, Zeus pushed the family button. He was like, fuck Zeus.
Right, and this is the important thing that happens after someone comes back from war, or after someone wins a battle, something like that, right? We don't know how long was it between that moment on top of the peak of Olympus after he killed Hades, but we don't know how long was it from that moment to when we next see him chopping wood. You know what happens when men come back from war and they have time to themselves? Finally, time that they don't have to deal with the flight or fight instinct, when they can just breathe. Do you know what happens? Men reflect on what they've done. Men think.
And that's the thing. And I'm going to stop it here because he makes a good point. He makes a good point that when it comes down to it, when you make a character that is going through so much shit, and they finally have the time to just like, you know what? I'm done fighting. I'm fucking done fighting. I don't want to. What was the line in? That was the line in Immortals. In peacetime, sons bury their fathers. In wartime, fathers bury their sons. Kratos was at the point where it's like, I'm not burying any more family members. But that's soft. I think David Jaffe is somebody who, like a certain video game character, is hurt and felt betrayed that he couldn't do, or he was not, as he couldn't get the results that he wanted. And now he's bitter. He's sitting in that bitterness. And quite frankly, every bad news about Sony, he kind of does a little, jig or dance about it. I don't know. David Jaffe has also said that you shouldn't have AAA games, which is stupid because he worked on so many AAA games. Not to mention that he did the God of War franchise, but he also did motherfucking Twisted Metal. And just Drawn to Death just flopped and failed, and he kind of still is bitter about that. And I'm sorry, I don't know. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, and all that other good shit. I want to thank you guys for watching this video clip. And we're gonna cut the segment here. Thank you for watching this video, and the next one should be popping up on your screen. Subscribe, and if you haven't checked it out and want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon. Thanks.